Here is, more headlines. It's all over the place. They're very unhappy about it because the numbers are bigger than all of them combined. They're all irritated that Elon is supplanting them. Happy to host Kamala on X Spaces too. If she could come and do it, then let's go. Let's do it. Come on, Kamala. How about 1 hour? Self-obsessed rich guys who will sell out the middle class and who cannot run a live stream in the year 2024, which is just hilarious. It's a live space. Numbers are in on the Elon Trump conversation, and they just continue to explode. Look at this. This was just within a few short hours. So officially from X, before midnight my time, August 12th, the date of the conversation, at 11:35 p.m., they say, all right, look, between 7:47 p.m. and 10:47 p.m., 3 hours, President Donald Trump's space post received 73 million views. That's the post itself. And during the same period, there were 4 million posts about Elon Musk and President Trump's conversation on X, generating a total of 998 million views. Now, that's not exactly video views, right? But that's probably, or the space views per se, but it's a lot of energy. It's a lot of engagement. Oh my goodness. And that was for 3 hours. That's not even a long time. So it's just compounding and compounding and compounding, and the numbers are through the roof. And the media is melting down over this. They are so unhappy about it. You can see this was what the headlines looked like all across the interwebs. This is just a smattering of them. You can see, you probably saw a lot of this, and this is a good indicator that this was a smashing success. You see, USA Today says, Trump rambles and slurs his way through the interview. It was a disaster. Hey, even Fox News is talking about it. Kamala Harris's campaign criticizes Trump for a self-obsessed rich guy after an interview with Elon Musk, and we'll read through her reaction. They're talking about a lisp. A lot of people are latching in on that, and I didn't hear it. I heard what sounded like Trump. I heard some microphone, kind of weirdness a little bit. It sounded like it was kind of a higher pitched Trump than normal, right? It didn't sound like his normal voice. And it's something that they're latching onto, obviously. Musk's Trump talk on X after a glitchy start, a 2-hour ramble, familiar vitriol, like the list goes on and on. Look, it's all over the place. Rambling Trump, Musk interview marred by tech issues, blah, blah, blah. So it's the tech story that's really going to be, I guess, captivating the attention, and the tech and the voice, not about the fact that Trump talked for 2 hours without a script, explaining his philosophy, giving us insight into the man. And a lot of the other criticism that we've heard is that, well, this wasn't adversarial, and I don't care about that at all. Again, I would love to hear Kamala Harris talk to Rachel Maddow for 2 hours about anything in an open format, right? Not like Rachel Maddow does on TV with jump cuts and edits and the T-ball questions, setting something up and then having her just come and knock it out of the park. We just want a conversation. And honestly, I'd be interested in that. I mean, it'd be painful to listen to. But if we got to look into Kamala's philosophy or Biden's philosophy, if he was capable of talking, or Walz's philosophy for 2.5 hours or 2 hours, I'd be interested in that because I like those conversations. I want to know how people work, how they think. Maybe we'd learn something about Kamala. Maybe we'd be like, wow, actually, she is a person with depth and some substance, and there's maybe some possibility of leadership there or something. I'd be open to it. I doubt it because it would never happen, right? And we've paid a lot of attention to her. But sure, if she'd come out, I'd give it a fair shake. Let's listen to it and let's see what they talk about. My expectations would be that we hear, a lot more about their communist ideology and ultimately come out. You can only sugarcoat it so much. The truth would be revealed. That's why they don't do those things. But here is, more headlines. It's all over the place. They're very unhappy about it because the numbers are bigger than all of them combined. They're all irritated that Elon is supplanting them, and they're having a meltdown over it. And so here was just one little clip from Trump. Johnny Maga got this one for us over from Margot Martin.
Biden actually did something that was impossible. Both sides hate him, both sides. Yeah. That was a hard thing to do. Unification.
Unified the parties. And some people are also noticing that he may have had a weird mic and he's also kind of hunched over. It's different when you're speaking like this into the phone than when you're standing and orating and stuff like that. So I think people are just hearing a different version of Trump, right? He's not on a podium with a bunch of microphones. He's not on, Fox News camera. He's on a cell phone on an X space. That's why it sounds a little different. So I think people may have heard different things, but I think, it's Trump. I don't think there's anything wrong with him or anything was off. I think the media is just trying to find something to cry about as usual. Now here, Johnny Maga clipped this for us, says that there is a full-on meltdown happening in addition to the headlines. Here's what CNN was saying.
Began with 40 minutes of silence and then a bropocalypse of politics. No matter how you frame it or what caused the glitch, what was finally said between Donald Trump and Elon Musk at last night's Big X event can largely be defined as a rant filled with familiar lies and lines of attack.
Kamala wouldn't have this conversation conversation. She can't because she's not smart. You know, she's not a smart person.
No.
She is a radical left San Francisco liberal, and now she's trying to protect. Now she's looking like she wants to be more Trump than Trump, if that's possible. I don't think it's possible, but she wants to be more Trump than Trump. She's terrible, but she's getting a free ride.
I'm glad they played that clip because it's right. She is terrible.
But did it do what it was designed to do, which was to put the brakes on Harris's momentum?
I don't know that it was designed to do that, but I think it's certainly doing that because it is real. It's authentic. It's Trump for 2.5 hours just going. And that's what you want. You want someone to just have a forum to see how they work. Trump did it. There's plenty of substance there. Elon Musk, I thought, held a great forum, much better than anything anybody in the media could do anywhere, you know, other than in the mainstream media. Let me say that. Who could do it better than that? I can't think of a single person in the mainstream media. Several people out of the mainstream media. You could envision a great conversation between Tucker or Rogan and Trump, but you're going to have that conversation with anybody from a cable network? No, they're not set for that. They don't know how to function in that modality. So media unhappy about this. We saw a bunch of reaction. The media was diving in on this slurring thing. And so this guy, apparently SV Date, White House correspondent for the Huffington Post, author of The Useful Idiot. All right, now he's updated post January 6th. Okay, great. So he wrote this. This is just amazing. He says, I asked the Trump campaign why the coup-attempting criminal former president is slurring his words and lisping. The campaign's response, it must be your shitty hearing. Get your ears checked out. I didn't hear it either. I don't know what their problem was, but absolutely appropriate. Well done, SV Date. Use some Q-tips, bro. Happy to host Kamala on X Spaces too. If she could come and do it, then let's go. Let's do it. Come on, Kamala. How about 1 hour? And again, bring Rachel Maddow. Bring anybody. Have the ladies from The View do it. I don't care. Pick anybody. I just want to hear Kamala for 2 hours because it would be a disaster. And we'd have to have like 2 hours minus the cackling, right? Like she can't cackle for 30 minutes. You know what I'm saying? And we only get 90 minutes of substance. I mean, like genuine 2 hours, not an hour and a half, not 1 hour of talk and 1 hour of cackle. Like, and I'm genuine about that. Like I'm tired of that. So, all right. So from Elon, happy to have her on if she wants to come out and do something, but she doesn't. Piers Morgan called this one right. He says, you know, the usual suspects are all mocking Trump's spaces, his 2-hour conversation with Elon, but A, it was really good. And B, Kamala Harris is hiding from all interviews in a way that's very cowardly by comparison to her rival. Well done, Piers, on that one. It's true. It is cowardly. And I'm glad that somebody in the media is finally calling her out. Thanks, Piers, for doing that. It is one of the most cowardly things that we've seen, and the media is perfectly okay with it. They don't even give a hoot. They're just like, okay, that's fine. And we're going to see here in a second from Michael Steele, who says the same thing. Michael Steele says, you know, she doesn't even really need to talk to anybody. So Kamala wrote this in response, says, here's a statement on Donald Trump's interview with Elon Musk. Says Donald Trump's extremism and dangerous Project 25 agenda, which I think is not even in existence anymore, that he never had anything to do with and disavowed completely, much to his detriment, actually. A lot of people were upset with that. But they say is a feature, not a glitch of his campaign, which was on full display for those unlucky enough to listen in tonight during whatever that was on X.com. Oh, so they're identifying it on X now? They're identifying it as X? In their email that we read during the live stream, they refused to call it X because they're bigots. They're techno bigots. They were calling it Twitter, even though we identify it as X. Now, Trump's entire campaign is in service of people like Elon Musk and himself, who like build things, employ people, have a grand vision for America, all the things. Self-obsessed rich guys who will sell out the middle class and who cannot run a live stream in the year 2024, which is just hilarious. It's a live space and it worked. It was late because so many people were trying to get in on it. So they can run live streams because nobody cares. Nobody hops on there. Why don't you come and see if you can break it too there, Harris? Hop on here. And someone made a great observation on this. No one ever signs these. Who did this come from, right? They all come from Kamala HQ. But from who? Where do they come? We know that Trump's people all have names like Carolyn Levitt and Stephen Chung and others, right? They actually use their names when they release the statements. From Trump's press campaign secretary. Who are these people? They just put out statements. And Trump and Elon have employed and built more goods and services and more businesses and built more infrastructure in this country than Harry Walls ever has. All they've been doing is just grifting off the public teat for decades. And we're all pretty tired of it. So Michael Steele is also somebody who was saying Kamala doesn't even need to debate anybody. I mean, she's just, you know, whatever. She's throw her in the basement like Joe Biden. No one even cares.
What has struck me since Donald Trump's press conference is sort of the highbrow nature of the press coming at Kamala Harris, in my view, whining that she hasn't talked to us. She hasn't done a sit down with us. She hasn't done interviews with us. So at one point you say strategically, why Why do I need to talk to you right now? I'm talking to the American people, and we're having a conversation. You're happy to follow it and to report on it. But right now, is there a real need for her to sort of, get the imprimatur of the press on her campaign?
Man, he's so embarrassing. He's like, I love being ignored and abused in our position. Like, it's good for us to just be ignored and abused by Kamala. It's pathetic. The media will continue to cover for her. But honestly, the media is becoming less and less relevant when Trump gets 1 billion views hanging out with Elon, when Trump gets 100 million views hanging out with Aiden Ross, bypassing all of the people, no third party interfering with the conversation between Trump and the people, which is exactly what we want.